Respected Chief Guest of the occasion, Dr. K. N. Dr. P.R. Poduwal, President, our Secretary, my dear friends. It is a happy occasion to have the second memorial lecture of Kerala Management Association of this year. Kerala Management Association used to conduct 3 memorial lectures in remembrance of the 3 past management leaders of Kochi. Sri M.K.K. Nair Memorial Lecture, which is already over. The second is M.B. Pylee Memorial Lecture and A.T. Chandy Memorial Lecture that will be happening maybe within next month or so. Today we have a very special personality today as the chief guest, Dr. K. N. Dagwan. You know that he is the Executive Director of Rubber Board and the Chairman of Tobacco Board of India. When we decided the person who will be addressing this management lecture, myself at present, immediately the person who came our mind was sir, and then we requested him. He has been kindly consented to be the chief guest of today. Anyway, I'll introduce you later after my welcome address. Sir, we welcome you on behalf of all the gathering today for this memorial lecture. Dr. P.R. Poduwal, he has worked with Mr. M.B. Pylee long years in Cochin University of Science and Technology. Anyway, that he will elaborate because it was not Cochin University of Science and Technology when he joined. So when we want to have a remembrance speech about M.B. Pylee, he is a man with long association with him. That is why we requested him to have the remembrance speech, and he has been consented to be here. So, sir, on behalf of all of us gathered here, I extend you a warm welcome for this. Our President, Nirmala Lily, you are not there. He is the second women president of Kerala Management Association, and he has taken over as the president after 33 years of the first lady president, and he is making a remarkable management year of KMA this year, a very special event, and this Kerala Management Convention, annual convention has been conducted. We can say it is a very great function in Nadet, and with the chairmanship of the A.B. Balakrishnan, it was our marquee event. It has been first time conducted in the Grand Hyatt also. She is doing so many other events of this year. So I welcome her to this function. And another vibrant leader of the management year is Algiers Khalid. He is also very active in management functions, and so many events are being arranged, and it is going on well. So his contribution is very immense for this Kerala Management year, and I welcome Sri Khalid for this. And I welcome all the management leaders here who has been here for witnessing this or listening this lecture, and management students are here. I extend my warm welcome to all of you for this function. And my second responsibility is introducing our chief guest. Shri Dr. K.N. Raghavan received the charge as the Executive Director of Rubber Board in April 2019. Additionally, he is holding the charge of Tobacco Board of India also. He is born in Kerala and schooling is done in Rajagiri and completed his MBBS from Calicut Medical College in 1988. And immediately after that, he is joined in Medical College for his postgraduate studies on physical medicine and rehabilitation. I think it could not be completed before that. I think he has been joined in IRS in 1990 as customs in the Central Excise Department. Served as so many assignments he has done. He has been served as Assistant Commissioner of Central Excise and Hosur and Coimbatore, Deputy Director, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, MD Rubbermark, CEO of Cooperative Medical College, Kochi from 2000 to 2004, and Additional Commissioner of Customs, First Secretary for Commerce in High Commission of India in Singapore, Additional Commissioner of Central Excise and Service Tax in 2011. 2011 onwards, he has been in Kochi, and then Commissioner of Customs after 2017, and CEO after the Commissioner assignment. He has gone as CEO Norca Routes for short while, and then again he has been taken over as the Principal Commissioner of GST and Central Excise Mumbai. And this is his career profile in the administrative or in the bureaucracy. But other than that, is another profile. I think he's a qualified Ranji Trophy panel of accredited umpires of by BCC in BCCI in 1991 and to All India panel in 1996. He umpired so many cricket matches. One day, international cricket match, India versus Bangladesh on 1998. Third umpire in India versus Australia, or for one day international match at Cochin in 1992-98, and umpired in numerous Ranji Trophy, Duleep Trophy, Deodar Trophy matches, and returned from umpire panel on 2013. That is the second profile. The third profile, as a writer, he has written so many books. And the first book is in World Cup Chronicle in 1999. And in the second edition also has come in 2002. And second book is Dividing Lines, Contours of India and China Conflict. It has released on 2012. Third book is Vanishing Shangri-La, History of Tibet and Dalai Lama in 20th century. That is released on 2016. This is about the what we call the international Indian the relationship between India and war and all these things. And now another profile is a novelist also. He has written Slices of Calicut Halwa in 2019, one novel, and second novel in Bouncer in Malayalam. It is released in 2022. So then his wife is a doctor, is a consultant ENT surgeon working in Sunrise Hospital, and his daughter Aishwarya is married and settled in Sweden. This is a brief profile. He's a great orator and author of so many books, writer, sport personality, and a great human being. So I present Dr. K.N. Raghavan for this speech today.
Dr. K.N. Raghavan IRS. Can you hire? Professor Dr. P.R. Pulvar, Mr. A.C.K. Nair, Chairman, Memorial Lecture, our Honorary Secretary, Mr. Ajay Khalid, Managing Committee members, KMA members, our student members, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you so much for coming in large number to listen to this special lecture. I must congratulate our chair, current chair of this particular committee, that is Memorial Committee, Mr. A.C.K. Nair. He has been organizing lectures. There already one is over and one more is there. And thank you so much for bringing outstanding personality as speakers. Thank you, sir. When memories, love and respect becomes a memory, that the memory becomes a treasure. Late Dr. M.V. Pylee is an example. He was an Indian scholar, educationist, and management guru, considered by many as the father of management education in Kerala and an authority on constitutional law. He was awarded Padma Bhushan in 2006 for his contribution to the field of education and management. I have a vivid memory of late M.V. Pylee addressing KMA members, and there were many occasions where I got an opportunity to sit next to him and listen to other speakers. I could talk to him. He blessed me several times. We are very proud of the fact that he was our past president, 1974-75. A remarkable personality. Those who know him will never forget him. We have a special person, a life member, who was also knew late Pylee very closely and has translated his book into English book into Malayalam in the royal path of service. That is our Dr. Lilitha Matthew. She is present here. Thank you for coming. And she also wishes to present the book to the speakers. Thank you for your kindness. To remember him, we have Professor Dr. P. Ramachandran Pudwar. He was a director of School of Management Studies and also Dean, Faculty of Social Science, Cochin University of Science and Technology. His areas of specialization are in psychology and management. There are a number of publications to his credit, including 3 books, specific chapters in 7 edited books, and more than 50 articles in professional and popular journals. 2 books are in Malayalam and all others are in English. The relationship between Professor Pudwar and late M.V. Pylee goes back to 1965. Who else is more suitable than Professor Pudwar to do the remembrance speech? I am aware that nowadays he does not go anywhere for any public function. And thank you for accepting our request. Our chief guest, Dr. K. Raghavan IRS, is an executive director of Rubber Board, well-known personality, pride of Kerala. Dr. Raghavan is dear to all Malayalis, especially for cricketers. I do not know how many of you listen to the Fourth Eye, a Malayalam cricket podcast, all about cricket, the game, the player, the incidents, happenings inside, outside, discussion, suggestions, and solutions. I think there are 11 episodes so far. A week for women, Indian women crickets is the last one. It is awesome to listen to that. I would like to highlight 9th episode titled "Why Did Crowd Stay Away from ODI at Surrender?" Beautifully articulated. What went wrong? How? Why? And what can be done? One of the suggestions to KCA was KCA must build a cricket stadium at Kochi. Kochi being centrally located, everybody will agree. Surprisingly, I heard in the news within no time that KCS expression of interest looking for 30 acres of land in Kochi to build a cricket stadium. That's a huge achievement as far as this podcast is concerned. Voice has been heard. Each and every point is very valid. I like the way he articulates the Malayalam. Any human being can understand, even a layman. Hope that podcast will publish as a book in future and will sell as a Bible for cricket lovers. Our topic of the day is sports management experience in Convergence. Let me also share my experience. As one of the new initiatives of KMA this year, we started Cricket League for corporates. That's called the KCCL, KMA Corporate Cricket League. Chinu Yohanan is our brand ambassador. The first edition was organized in October 2022. We had 18 teams. South Indian Bank became the winner. Before that, we had a friendly match for KMA members held on 15th August 22. As the president of KMA, I had to inaugurate the match by bowling the first over. The batsman was Mr. C.A. Salim, our member, who is a player in the Indian Veterans Cricket team. He's very much here. And I had never played cricket ever in my life. When I saw the batsman standing at the crease, cool, calm, composed, and the cross leg hitting the bat on the ground, and thinking that the ball is not even coming anywhere near the batsman. First ball, it reached batsman, did not get any run. Second ball, no run, but he managed to score 10 runs in the next 3 balls. And the last ball, I took his wicket. He's out. Last game, President made history in the first match itself, and we won the match too. I thought to myself, this is what happens in cricket. When a new bowler bowls, the batsman will have no idea where the ball will land. Even Sachin Tendulkar has got out in the first ball itself from the first time bowler. Dr. Pat, my dream is that KMA members also must learn leadership management through sports. In turn, KMA will create a huge impact on members to be part and parcel of KMA and take KMA's activities programs seriously to add value to its members and more members to add. Now we have got 10 student chapters. Our student chapter members are here. We are also having an intercollegiate football match for our student members in mid-February. We are indeed privileged to have you as chief guest, Dr. Ivan. Years are for you to listen to sports management experience conversations. Before that, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Podua sir to deliver the remembrance speech of late Dr. M.D. Pylee.
Chief guest of the day, Dr. K. N. Raghavan, President of KMA, Ms. Nirmala, Chairman, Memorial Committee, A.C.K. Nair, KMA Honorable Secretary, Rajesh Khalid, family members of KMA, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I had close association with Padma Shri Professor Dr. Pylee. Not only a close association, it was a very long association too, in the sense it spans from 1965 December to 2017, a long period. Not only as director of SMS, School of Management Studies, not only as a vice chancellor of Cochin University, even after his retirement from Cochin University, I was associated with him in his venture. That was the Asian Institute of Management and Governance. I will not speak anything about the public information about Dr. Pylee. It is already there in his autobiography. My remembrance is more on the personal relationship I had with the Dr. Pylee. Dr. Pylee as an academician is well known. Dr. Pylee as an institution builder is well known. Dr. Pylee as a true citizen of this country, reflected by his award, Padma Bhushan, is well known. And as a social leader, taking initiative in organizing many programs in Ernakulam, like Kerala State Productivity Council, Kerala Management Association, and several such organizations. So I will not speak anything about him as an academic leader, not as an institution builder. I will talk about Dr. Pylee as a person. When I just think of Dr. Pylee, something that comes to my mind is the profile of a true model professional manager. Though he was an academician, he was more than academician, he was a professional manager. I will elaborate this idea. See, Dr. Pylee is often described as father of management education in Kerala. Sometimes I feel why don't we extend this to the India? Of course, people will not believe it. Father of management education in India. There is another person equally famous, but I don't know whether many of you may not have heard about him. But K.T. Chandy, who was the first director of the first Indian Institute of Management in Calcutta. Then we also remember another person, Professor Ravi Mathai. Professor Ravi Mathai was a first director of Indian Institute of Management in Ahmedabad. It was during that period itself, during the early 1960s or late 1960s, 63, 64, 65 period. IEM was established in Calcutta, and the School of Management Studies of Kerala University was also established in 1964, along with this IEM Calcutta and IEM Ahmedabad came 1 year. So those who were in the pioneers of management education, Dr. Pylee was also there. Apart from Dr. K.T. Chandy and Ravi Mathai, and later after 10 years, not 64, after 10 years, IEM Bangalore, which was established by Professor N.S. Ramaswamy. So he was there, one among these. And so I have no hesitation even extending the word management pioneer. I may not say father of pioneer in the management education. Perhaps we may go a few years backwards, even before the establishment of IIM Calcutta. Dr. Pylee was responsible for establishing an industrial management division and this School of Economics, Delhi School of Economics, where he was a faculty member. And from there, he went to Administrative Staff College, Hyderabad, to be one of the directors. So apart from this qualifications of other management education in Canada, I look at Dr. Pylee from a different angle. He was a person who made certain impossible things possible. And they say, make certain impossible things possible. You must be aware of the culture, the system, and the conditions of the university, which doesn't permit to do many things other than academic. If it was not Dr. Pylee who created a School of Management Studies, the name and fame of the School of Management Studies would not have been there. Reason, an academician just looks only at the academic side, whereas management is not a mere academic. In fact, I was telling an interesting story to a friend of mine. Just like a first-time supervisor in a company, in an organization, ignored by the workers and neglected by the management. Similar to that, the position of management is similar to this. Ignored by the practitioners, neglected by academics. We were not well accepted by the practitioners because the label was you are academic, not practical. We were not well recognized by the academic departments like physics and chemistry and law. They say you are not an academician, you are not a business type of people. So neither accepted by academicians nor by the practitioners. That was the condition of management education in India. Not only Kerala, out in India. Dr. Pylee accepted the invitation of Kerala University to become the director of School of Management only by the persuasion of Sri M.K. Nair, who was the managing director of FAC. With the support of M.K. Nair, we started the School of Management in a small house in Udyogam. And only because of the support of M.K. Nair, we could really make a name. Dr. Pylee started this in 1964. And the professors were, nobody was available for teaching the subject. The professors were the Paul Cotton, the R.N. Valier, marketing manager of FSC, Dr. V.K. Alexander of UC Products, Professor Damodar Nair, retired professor of Maharaja's College, S.K. Valier, who was with the Indian Navy, and several other practicing managers. There was no academician as a teacher in management during that. I was the number 2 to join the School of Management in 1965. And our association from 65 December to 2017. there was a gap of 3 years where we did not contact. 1 year when I went to Harvard for higher studies. 2 years when I went to Trivandrum to serve service commission. And after retirement, I am associated with Dr. Pylee in that Asian Institute of Development and Innovation. What I want to emphasize is that what is not possible normally was made possible by Dr. Pylee by ingenious and innovative methods. Normally, an academic department of university will not come forward to help industry or any other agency. We are only confined to research work and teaching. And consultancy and advisory type of work was not associated with the university in their days. So what Dr. Pylee did, knowing the limitation of the university, he established a new system or new institution, I may say, Foundation for Management Education, with the full support of MKK Nair and also with all the managing directors of many other companies. And with the support of the university and with the support of IEA Muhammad. This Foundation for Management Education made it possible to extend the service of the School of Management to other industries. Like we did a lot of service to Federal Bank. In fact, Federal Bank came as a Federal Bank in this position with the help of the School of Management. It was a very, very small bank at that time. But within a few years, Federal Bank became a big institution. OEN India Limited, HIL, FSAP, and several other organizations. So we did wonderful thing during a short period. Published 2 journals, conducted a series of executive training program for industries. For the first time in India, a training program in entrepreneurship was established in Kochi in the School of Management. Later became popular in all India and several other organizations. In fact, many things which could not be possible later, it was not possible later because the foundation had to grade the master certificate. So Dr. Pylee established a foundation, and through the foundation, he did wonderful jobs for the school and close collaboration between industry and academics. Another interesting part to Dr. Pylee is that when a person grows, that adaptability and adjustment to the new situation is very difficult because of commitment to the past, the previous. A production manager, when he is promoted as general manager of a company, sometimes may find it difficult to act as a general manager because of his commitment to his earlier profession as a production man. He is more loyal to his earlier position, which is likely to create problems for his new position. Why I am mentioning this? Dr. Pylee established a School of Management, and then he became the Vice Chancellor of the university. As the Vice Chancellor, if he carried his past as the Director of the School of Management, the School of Management will be very happy to get his services, but it will be very bad for the university. So we ourselves advise Dr. Pylee, don't come to the School of Management now, at least for the next 4 years, when you are Vice Chancellor. because your job is so much wider. From a small circle, when a person develops into a wider circle, he has to be more broad-minded and to give more attention to other departments. So his commitment to School of Management should not be there. And he did adhere to that advice. He never visited the School of Management when he was vice chancellor. Not because he had no concern for School of Management, he had a lot of concern, but he doesn't want to give the impression that I am the creator of the School of Management. It is my department. No. Other physics department, chemistry, all other departments are equally important to the vice chancellor as his own department. Then another aspect which I found in him was he has no narrow views of things. He was a local man with a global attitude. And he was not a victim of the small little things. It went to such an extent that he was very blind to the request of any person. If somebody approaches him and says, "Sir, I want a certificate saying that I am very good in such and such a things," without any hesitation, Dr. Pylee used to give that certificate. And then we ask the question, is it right? You do not know what type of person he is, but you are giving a good certificate. And the reply of Dr. Pylee was, what do we lose? His benefit, he gets some benefit out of it, let him have it. So such a magnanimous view of things is rather rare. Then I may just share my experience with him. Was a private affair. Nobody dared to say anything negative to Dr. Pylee. Perhaps I was the only person who just told some negative things about him. There were some issues. And on some issues, I told Dr. Pylee what you did was not correct. And he got annoyed and told me, it was a meeting, told me that you will suffer for your statement. But he was the only person who gave all full support. It was only a statement, but throughout his life, he really gave me a lot of support. In fact, very close, as I said, it's a long association, it was a very close association. Now let me just conclude that 4 or 5 aspects which are related to a professional manager. One, a person should be independent and should establish very intimate relationship with subordinates. I remember one thing, as a true professional man, he always used his subordinates, not as subordinates, but as colleagues. As unto junior colleagues, his practice was to praise them in the presence in public to other people, but give the reprimands in private. So when a boss is praising the subordinate in the presence of others and giving reprimands in private. And he used to encourage his colleagues, not subordinates, the freedom. And my feeling is the present stature of the School of Management was created by the culture developed by Dr. Pylee during the early period. Another aspect is a proactive orientation. Proactive orientation. Third one is social involvement. He was a gem of a person and is a true professional manager. I think with this, I will conclude my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving that information. A local man with a global attitude, he made impossible things possible. And those who touch our lives stay in our hearts forever. Thank you so much, sir. And now I request.
I'm Dr. Podwal, my good friends, and Pylee, joins of management, enrolled coaching management students, ladies and gentlemen. I begin by congratulating the president for starting the meeting on time. It was almost like starting a cricket match, which never gets delayed. So, fine. Congratulations to you on that score, because this actually sets the tone for the meeting. That something starts on time is for a very professional approach. And let me again thank my good friend, Jessica and I, for bestowing upon me this honor of giving a memorial lecture to a great person, a pioneer in the history of Indian management training itself. Unfortunately, all my management has been in government, which probably is not the best place to talk about management. This is why the topic came, I thought I'll pick up sports and management, as sports is an area where I have a lot of interest and was involved to some extent. I started an incident that took place in 1986. I was in my early 20s, and those days we did not have computerized reservation for railways. So one of the jobs entrusted to me by the elders was to go and stand in queue and book railway tickets. So once I was studying in Calicut, I was asked to book quite a few tickets, and I went to the railway station. The booking office was above the railway station. So those days, Calicut had introduced this token system, which is very common nowadays, but those days it was a rarity. So you can go take a token and actually sit down somewhere and go to a counter when your token number is. The 5-6 counters for sleeper tickets and 1 counter for first class. For first class, there was no token, you had to stand in queue. So I took the token number for the second class sleeper tickets that I had reserved and stood in the queue for first class. First class, there were about 6 or 7 people. I thought I'll get over in some half an hour and then probably await my turn for the sleeper ticket. And I could see that the tokens in the sleeper class are moving very fast. The ladies working the counters, they're doing it very fast. The gentleman sitting in the first class counter was going at his own leisurely pace. He will talk to the people, he will take the ledger, he will enjoy his coffee break, tea break, loo break. People come and chat with him. So I could see that at the other side, it was all going very, very fast. And by the time I reached the counter, my token number was about to be called. So I made the mistake of saying, sir, can you make it fast? I have got tickets to book in the second class side also. He shows me the thing and said, if you want to go there, you go there. So I said, sorry, sir. So he took maybe some perverse question, making it even more longer than what was required. By that time, I could see my token number flashing on the other side. And finally, he issued the ticket. It was around 12:45. I didn't know what to do. I waited for some time, and after 10 minutes, the counters closed for lunch. I rushed to the counter where my token had flashed and told the lady that, ma'am, I was actually here, but my token number, I couldn't come because I was waiting the first class ticket. He saw my token number and saw the first class tickets and said, please do one thing. I close the counter now. I take lunch, 30-minute break. Come here at exactly after 30 minutes, and I'll issue tickets. I waited there. 30 minutes, this thing, she came in. I gave her my requisition form. She went through it, and in 2 minutes, she issued the tickets. I was so thrilled. I had actually expected the same sort of treatment I got from the elderly gentleman. Few days later, I met a friend who was working in railways and said that I had a very good experience because this lady actually helped me. She said, do you know the reason why? I said, no. All the ladies sitting there are volleyball players recruited by railways. So this is what sports does to management. This was my first real experience of the positive impact that sports gives. One was the high energy level of the people, of the lady staff working. They were very fast, they were very professional. They did not waste time on anything else. Second was the air of positivity that they brought. And this was really an eye-opener for me. So I always believe that sports gives a lot of principles for daily life, management, and whatnot, which is why I thought that this might be a very subject on which we can at least talk about a lot. So I'll just give a quotation, it's a slightly long quotation. And I would just request if anyone can actually tell me who made this quotation. I start, quote, "The ball does not know how old I am. You need to stop yourself from stopping yourself. Every game in life is actually played in a 6-inch ground, the space between your 2 ears. We don't live in bungalows or flats. We live in our mind, which is an unfettered field. Life is great when things are sorted and uncluttered there. Keeping the mind messy with hatred brewing on the table, regrets piling in the corner, expectations boiling in the kitchen, secrets stored under the carpet, and worries littered everywhere ruins this great home. The key factor to performing well in life in every arena is the ability to control the quality and quantity of your internal dialogue. Performance is potential minus internal interference. Live in peace, not in pieces." Can you tell me who said this? Anyone? Just take a chance. Yes, please.
Srikanth by any chance? Srikanth by any chance?
Not Srikanth. Any other guess?
Hello.
It is a lady. I'll give that true one. Which one?
Diana Adamji.
Not Diana. It is Martina Navratlo. Yeah, for the youngster, yeah. Now I understand how you make this. It was not, no, if this was set by, I would have thought that if this topic was not sports, people might have thought that it's a great philosopher or a management guru. It's such a profound statement. The reason why she said this was somebody asked her, how do you continue playing at the age of 43? Martina was a great tennis player. She won many titles at Wimbledon and in other open titles. She played till the age of 45 or 46. Finally, partner Leander Paes also. This was the reply that she gave. So two things are important here. One is keeping the mind uncluttered. Second is your mind is what stops you from achieving your real goal. See, it is easier in sports where you have to run very fast and ensure that you finish ahead of the winner race. You have to jump further. In other games, you have to just watch the ball. So it is just between you and the bowler in cricket. You watch the ball, or in football, you try to score. It is very objective in sports. But in real life, it becomes slightly more messier. But then your ability to keep your mind uncluttered is what actually leads you to result. I'll tell you one person like that. I had worked in Singapore as a first secretary, and one of my claims to fame is that when I was first secretary, Dr. Jaishankar was an external affairs minister, was the High Commission. So wonderful working. So India-Singapore relations are quite good. So Singapore, a lot of Indian senior leaders would come and they'll get audience with the Prime Minister, Senior Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, and all that without any difficulty. And people like me will tag along to the meetings and take down notes. So then Singapore decided that you should further strengthen the relationship. And one of the ideas they had was the whole Pravasi Bharatiya relationship. Pravasi Bharatiya is traditionally held by in India itself by the Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs. They said you cannot hold a PPD in Singapore, you can have a mini PPD. They accepted that and decided to hold it October of 2008. Now, in India, if we have an event, we start planning 1 month or 2 months in advance. Singaporeans start 1 year in advance. So they started sending us letters saying by March, April, we start getting letters saying this is the scheme of the event. Can we have like this? Can we know the speakers from your side? So I started sending the letters to the Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs. No reply. Reminder 1, reminder 2, reminder 3. Reminder 3, I got a call from a joint secretary asking, are you from India? Don't you know that we don't do things this early? Act like an Indian. We will come to you and it's August, September. Don't trouble us. I went and told like something like that. Yes, that's the way India works. Relax. Let's watch how it goes. Singaporeans started filling up the program. Pan of 4, they will recommend 2 Singaporeans and they'll suggest, why can't these 2 Indians coming? You'll write no reply. After some time, Singaporeans started taking no reply as an S. So names started getting filled up. Finally, in August, September, India woke up and said, we want these speakers, so many on the dais and all that. And then the Singaporean side says, sorry, we have already decided everything. Now what can we do? So we had to have discussion. So High Commissioner took, I also tagged around for the meeting. So there's a person equivalent or joint secretary, the director in the ministry. So he came in and said, this is a special request of the minister. He said, sorry, not possible. The special request from the secretary, he should speak. Sorry, not possible. So too many sorries and no's came in that meeting. It was quite annoying. So on the way back, I asked High Commissioner, sir, it is an Indian event. How can they tell us what to do and what not to do? Should we be more firm in tackling them? He thought for some time and asked me, Raghvan, why are you and I here? So I don't know what to answer. So what is the purpose of High Commission and all that? Sir, to improve India-Singapore relations. You know that? And what is this PBD for? It's such a great, take it to greater heights, right? Now, my link with Singapore Foreign Affairs Ministry is the India desk. And the director is the person heading the India desk. I annoy, I break that umbilical cord. See, we know that Singapore told us 6 months in advance, 7 months in advance about what is to be done, what is expected. No, we cannot have India-Singapore meet in Singapore without going by how they tell us. So I am not willing to break off India-Singapore relations or to spoil it because we were inefficient in the first place. So let us get this clear. If you have good India-Singapore relations, keep good relationship with your desk. Others will fall in place, don't worry. This was a great lesson for me. I had allowed my mind to get cluttered with the immediate, whereas he had the long-term mission in mind. This is what experience brings to a very senior diplomat. So keeping the mind uncluttered, what is your target? What is your ultimate objective? You shouldn't lose sight of that. The moment you lose sight of that, you start losing the plot. So this is a great lesson I learned. Second point that Patna said is that performance is potential less your internal management, how you manage your mind. There are any number of examples of players who had tremendous potential. Vinod Kambli, Sadanand Vishnath. Those of us who had seen Sadanand Vishnath, the wicketkeeper in the 1980s, thought he was the best who had ever come in. But then he faded away. Lakshman Shivaramakrishan. Any number of players are there. Why does that happen? They have everything going for them, but then within them, they don't have the internal discipline. Mind works against them. Well, you know about what happened to Vijay Mallya and management. He had an industry, the beer industry, which could never fail in a country like India. The whiskey, the largest whiskey drinking population in the world. He inherited everything, but he finally managed to lose it. Why? This again the problem of the mind. He tried to reach for the impossible. He didn't manage it well. He's a very intelligent person. He can do a lot of things very well. But somewhere along the line, he lost the plot. This again what happened. It is performance is potential less your mind. So it is the mind that actually played an important role in bringing down the entire empire that Malaya family has built. This happened in sports also. So from Martina, we take home 2 lessons in management. One is have an uncluttered mind. It's the most important thing. And second, your mind. You have to stop yourself from stopping this. This is what ultimately our potential can be achieved only if we stop ourselves from stopping. This is a great lesson. Now, Indian cricket has been hit by a new phenomenon. We had a 14-year-old boy who created waves in the 1980s, then a long-haired Dhoni who drank a lot of milk, made an appearance in the early years of the 21st century. Now we have a new phenomenon, Surya Kumar Yadav, who has taken the world by storm. How did he manage? So if you trace the career of Surya Kumar Yadav, you find something very, very remarkable, unlike the other two. Surya Kumar Yadav is from UP. His father settled down in Mumbai in a small job. He entered the Mumbai Ranji Trophy team in 2010. Made a decent run of scores. He got to the Mumbai Indians IPL in 2012. Played 1 match, did not score any runs. Next year, he did not even get a match. Then 4 years, he played for Calcutta Knight Riders. Maximum score was 60 runs. So he was one of the many, what do you call, regular, normal players you see in the circuit. In 2017, he and his wife sat down together and decided that you have to change the way you play. It was a remarkable decision. In Mumbai school, you play cricket in a certain way. You are taught in a certain way. It involved a lot of unlearning of the mind, skills that we had acquired, the muscle memory that was there. He had to unlearn everything. He decided to become a totally T20 batsman. He forgot about the classic style of playing the game, the ball along the ground. He started creating angles. He became a 360-degree batsman, like AB de Villiers. And then what we call the uppercut, the scoop, the reverse scoop, the sweep, the reverse sweep, helicopter shot, all this he practiced and practiced and practiced. Instead of practicing what he had learned, he unlearned what he had learned and learned something new at the age of 26. And it produced such remarkable results that from 2018 he got the Mumbai Indians team, and then he has been on a roll. And he's the only batsman who scored 3 centuries in T20 international other than openers. In a 20-over match, he comes in the 5th or 6th over, and the next 10 overs he hits a century. It is remarkable, it's unbelievable. And he has managed to achieve this by a process of improvising the pitch. Again, a management principle. You all know that Amazon started as a bookshop, online bookshop. Their ambition was to make it the biggest, greatest bookstore on earth. What did they do after that? They expanded themselves to a marketplace for the third parties as well. You know that American Express was an express courier service who subsequently changed it midway through and improvised. So then how did YouTube start? It is a dating site where people are encouraged to put videos of themselves. It failed, it flopped miserably. So they said, okay, if you don't put your own videos, put some videos. Gained in popularity when people started posting videos. And then Google picked it up, and we all know how good YouTube is. So if you look at the history of management or industry or corporates, you'll find that people have actually started out in one way, innovated, unlearned something, and proceeded further. This is very important. Nokia was a market leader, no doubt about it. Mobile phone was equal to Nokia in the first decade of the 20th century. I used a Mac phone. I don't know how many of you have used one. It was horrible till the new iPhone came in. And even when iPhone came in, we thought it cannot overtake Nokia because Nokia is a common man's phone. But what has happened? Nokia is almost vanished. So it requires to survive, you need to learn new techniques. Surya Kumar Yadav is a classic example of how a person, even at the age of 26, can unlearn a lot of things, which he has learned probably at the age of 10 and practice for the next 15 years. And was a complete turnaround in his fortune. So this is a great lesson that we take out from him. Second, Surya Kumar Yadav once said that when a bowler bowls, I have at least 3 shots. You get probably a fraction of a second. Then how do you have 3 shots for that? Some of us might remember the last ball 6 at Javed Miaz's hit of Cheran Sharma. Pardon my listening. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so some of this might be ancient belief for the youngsters here. It actually was the biggest morale dampener in the history of Indian cricket in the 1980s. The last ball 6 in Sharjah. After that, we couldn't win in Sharjah. It was so bad. What happened was that Meander had such mastery over what was happening. And Chetan Sharma started his run-up. His dog went back. Meander knew that this fellow is not going to do anything. He took 1 step forward, stood there, and he got a full throw what he wanted, backed it for a 6. That is how you outthink the opponent. Surya Kumar Yadav has managed this thing of outthinking the opponent. All these companies that have managed, that have become so successful, have managed to outthink their competitors in the field. So, as you go forward in managing businesses, you need to, 1, make innovations. Be prepared to unlearn. Be prepared to learn constantly and outthink the opponent. This is a lesson that sports gives. David slaying Goliath is one of the favorite stories of all time. The underdog coming up, taking on a stronger opponent, coming up from again the unfancied defeating a near invincible side, like what we did in 1983 when we won the World Cup, defeating Clive Lloyd's West Indians. But for me, an equally important match was India's victory against Australia in Brisbane 2 years back, early 2021. Well, we lost the first test. We got out for 36 runs in the second innings, the lowest ever total. Our captain, the best batsman in the world, went on paternity leave. Players started dropping out with injury. So by the time we reached the 5th test, of course, we managed to square the series. We had 2 people making the test debut, 3 others playing in their first, who played the first test in that series. Such an inexperienced side we had. Australia had everyone, but still we won. How did we win? There's a slogan in Bhagavad Gita, it says, Nirashi Nirmamo Bhuto Yuddhasya Vigidajura. It says very simply, stay in the present. Don't look too much into the future. Don't harbor excess ambitions about the future. And forget the past. Don't carry the baggage of the past. Remain in the present and do your job without any tension. This is what the Indian society. We had bowlers of Nadarajan, Mohammad Siraj, then playing in such as Washington Sundar. Shubman Gill made his debut in that series. Navdeep Saini. And they played against such veterans as Stephen Smith, Warner, Tim Payne, Matthew Wade, Mike Mitchell Stark, Hazelwood, and all that, and we only won the match. So this was a match in which we decided that we'll stay in the present and play. This is something which many of us are not ever able to do. We always carry the baggage of the past. If they had thought that a newcomer like Natarajan, who hailed from a small village of Chinnapampatti in near Salem, had thought that yes, Stephen Smith is a player who has scored tons of runs, he would have felt tense. But he saw Stephen Smith as a batsman standing 20 yards in front of him from the bowling crease and decided that I will bowl as I normally bowl in other player. And he was effective. So forgetting the baggage of the past is one way in which you take on a opponent. How did Nirma take on the might of Hindustan Lever? Surf was everywhere. They thought that they had the market for themselves. Till Nirma came in and exposed that yes, there's a market out there which surf doesn't cater to, and I got that market. Of course, another thing that Nirma could sustain that in the long run. But in management, this is that don't ever be overawed by reputation. Stay in the present. And again, about ambitions of the future. India defeated West Indies in 1983 World Cup. There's a book, autobiography of Malcolm Marshall, which explains the atmosphere in the dressing room. India was all out for 183. West Indies thought they had the match. And they were in a very relaxed mood. Only thing was that they didn't have the beer. Malcolm Marshall said, I was thinking about the prize money, how I will buy a car, how I will spend the holiday there. Suddenly Richard got out. And before he knew, he was to go to bat. And he said, I was not in the mental frame of trying to go and bat. Because all my thoughts were on celebrating the victory. So they had switched off from the game and started celebrating in their mind. And it was extremely difficult for them to come back after that into the point. True, Marshall and Bujon tried hard from 76, they took the score up to 119 or something like that, but still West Indies lost the match. It was a great lesson that don't start celebrating actually. Don't be too ambitious about the future. Of course, you should plan for the future, but then you should live in the present, you should work in the present. Do your job without any Nishkama Karma is one thing of saying it. But staying in the present without the baggage of past is something which is extremely difficult. But successes have come for those startups, small firms who have taken on the giants because they stayed in the present. They understood what the market required. Nirma understood that people need a cost-effective detergent. Surf was priced at some exorbitant this thing. He could sell it at 1/10 the price of surf and he captured the market. So this is an important management lesson again, which I gained through sports. Of course, you would have learned from other means as well. Next one I'll come to is about passion. Now, I have read the autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar. As a small child, he used to stay away from his family, though they were still in Bombay, because he had to attend coaching from 7 in the morning, which used to go up till 9:30, 10. Then after school, he had to play matches in the afternoon and evening 1 more hour of play. That's on school days. On holidays, when there was no school, it used to be about 10 hours of continuous practice. This is a sort of practice that it needs to nurture the potential of a talented person into becoming a genius. They say 10,000 hours of solid practice. You cannot do it without total and absolute passion. No. While growing up, a person may have the passion, but once you reach the heights, will they carry it along? I had this doubt. I was a fan of Sunil Gavaskar. Gavaskar retired in 1987 while still at his peak. So he had in a syndicated column written that I retired because at one point, the previous season, I started looking at the watch in a Dilip Trophy match to see whether the interval is coming near. It's amazing. Dilip Trophy matches, when they are not selection matches, can be a big bore. And here is one of the best batsmen in the world saying that I started looking at the watch. And then I realized that my passion for the game had come down. So this is a level of commitment that is required to survive or to succeed in business. Narayan Murthy, Infosys has written that in 1 year, he spent just 7 days in India. He was traveling around the world. It is not easy to go, get out of his comfort zone, meet customers in different countries who keep you waiting, make your presentations, then adjust to their demands of time, demands of work. But he did all it because he was driven by passion. He was driven by belief that his company could deliver. So this is the sort of passion that is required. So when you are choosing people to work with you, choose people with passion. Others will find it as a vocation. A person with passion will be able to deliver it with his heart into it. Similarly, there is also a need to relax continuously. Have you ever thought how people relax during a match? You would have seen people like, I say about Gavaskar, now in the new age, you have people like Virat Kohli and Steven who can bat through the day. Batting for 360 minutes in a day. Okay, you get your lunch interval and tea interval, but on the field, you bat for 1 or 1.5 or 2 days at a stretch. How do they do that? They know how to relax in between. That is the secret of their success. You do not concentrate for the entire 360 minutes at a stretch. You do not concentrate for the entire session at a stretch. They know the gap between balls. Times when they are at the non-striker end, they know how to switch off and switch on. This is extremely important. How do surgeons stand for 6 hours and 8 hours at a stretch and do surgery? After all, your life is in their hands. You wouldn't want them to feel tired. You wouldn't want them to lose a concentration. You wouldn't want them to fail. But how do they manage it? It's one, they have the passion. Second, they know how to relax in between. Periods of relaxation in between work is extremely important if you have to keep going for long hours. Sports teaches you that. That sort of stamina comes in only if you are able to find that moments of relaxation that will recharge your battery and help you to power on all cylinders. Now, I'll come to 1 or 2 personal gains that I had. I was introduced as a person who had umpired matches. The person who introduced me to umpiring, Mr. Shivakumar, is here. He was my guru in umpiring for all reasons. But I gained from umpiring. As a person, as an officer, I gained. First, I understood the importance of being on time. An umpire is never late. No match has started as paid to start on time because the umpire was delayed for whatever reason. Second, it taught me the importance of physical and mental stamina. We would see that after seeing Dave Shepherd or Farooq Krishan, you will think that umpires may not be fit. Of course, they were rodent. But umpires will be extremely fit. You are standing for 6 hours at a stretch in the sun. You would never have seen a match getting stopped because the umpire had to take a water break or a toilet break. It doesn't happen. Because there's so much of innate stamina that comes in. Even the referees in World Cup, they keep running up and down with the players. And they keep observing what is happening. And then they take the decision. So this sort of physical and mental stamina comes by practice so far as umpires and referees are concerned. Third, it kept me grounded. Now, I joined civil service at the age of 26. It's quite a good, comfortable job. And a lot of people are around who will call you, sir. People are there to help you at every stage. And it is every reason to feel puffed up and some amount of arrogance can come. I was kept grounded because I was an umpire. And when you umpire matches, the players do not know whether you are assistant commissioner or deputy director or additional collector. They will see you as an umpire. And if they don't get the decision, they do what all players do themselves. So umpiring matches, maybe even if you make correct decisions, they will curse. That's part of it. They will explain areas of anatomy of your mother and sister in such colorful terms. But that becomes part of it. What I'm saying is that it helped to keep me grounded. And maybe it also gave me the sort of courage to try out for deputations also. Do you know that once you are there and umpiring matches and you're taking decisions on the spot, a lot of things which are required in life actually fall into place. Finally, I'll make a small sales pitch. I hope I can take 2 more minutes to complete it. I have written a book on management, which is getting released hopefully during the course of the month. It is about the management principles in Ramayana. Normally, Bhagavad Gita is the one which is associated with the management principles. I had the opportunity of reading Ramayana because of some interest. And then during COVID times, everything was online. So I was also asked to give some talk on Ramayana. Somebody listened to 1 or 2 of the talks that I gave and gave me a site and invited to write it. I'll just say two aspects which I found interesting. The rest I will not. This is a trailer sort of. One, there's a story that Hanuman actually jumped to Lanka when he went in search of Sita. Is it possible to do that? Can you jump across the sea? No, it's not possible. There's also a story that when Lakshmana was injured in the battle, he went and lifted the entire mountain and it's also not possible. Now, the message being conveyed here is that a leader can actually inspire you to great heights. Have you thought about the freedom struggle that we had? Common masses, common men, they braved the lathis and guns of the British under the string of Satyagraha and Ahimsa because Gandhiji gave a call for it. They were normal people, they did not aspire for anything. They would have cried if their mother had pinched their ears. They would have cried if the teacher had given them a beating. How were they motivated to go and get beaten by the lathi blows of the British? Just because a leader could inspire them. So this is what a leader can do. Similarly, you heard of the Long March in China. An army, a small army of Chinese communists under Mao Zedong marched 6,000 miles, nearly 10,000 kilometers on foot through a period of 1 year to survive against the armies of Chiang Kai-shek. I think it's possible, let's fight now. We'll not be able to do it. They were able to do it. It was superhuman endurance that they displayed, only because a leader could inspire them. So the idea of Hanuman jumping to Lanka or lifting this thing only is a symbol of telling you that a leader can inspire you to great heights. Another one I would like to consider is the killing of Bali. You know that Bali was killed by Rama. There's a fight between Bali and Sugriva. Rama hid behind a tree and shot the arrow and killed Bali. Was it right? I believe. No, this has happened in real life. You heard the name Veerappan, the brigand who had shown no mercy. How was he killed? Veerappan was lured out of the jungle. Just great cop called Mr. Vijay Kumar, Indian Police Service, Tamil Nadu hero who did that, who got it. They combed the jungles and finally decided that Veerappan cannot be captured in a jungle because he knew the jungle better than any police force or armed force. So they lured Veerappan out of the jungle. One person posed as got into the gang and said that for treating Veerappan's eye disease, we'll arrange a visit to a town. Finally, Veerappan fell further and came out of the jungle. The same way in which Bali was trapped, Veerappan was trapped. So to get rid of a great danger to public, to society, you can indulge in some amount of deceit also. With this, I will conclude now. Thank you very much for a very patient hearing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Both and management experience in convergence. Very nicely articulated. There's a lot of learning from your talk. Very interesting, brilliant talk, sir. A lot of principles, focus, manage your mind, and learn, unlearn, and relearn. And there are a lot of things that I have noted down. And then the examples that you mentioned about Surya and your own personal experience, and then staying in the present, and very passionately spoke, and everybody was glued to you. That is very, very nice. Now, it's I think maybe you can ask few questions. Just any time. Anybody would like to ask any question?
I have one question. As a Thank you, sir, for your excellent speech and highly motivating talk, practical examples. My question is, in your umpiring career, when you make a wrong call, and especially if the wrong call has resulted in changing the direction of the game from one side to the other, how do you deal with your conscience?
One is that when you make a wrong call, you don't know it's a wrong call. You're making a call which you think is right. Maybe later day. See, when we started out, we didn't have the advantage of online or on-time television. At the end of the day, but players would sit and say this sort of thing happened. Okay, second was we all make mistakes in life. Nobody is perfect. Players drop catches, players have this thing of getting a wrong decision. So players are also attuned to the occasional wrong call. So long as you don't try to adjust. You think you have made a wrong call here, so you compensate. No, that is not. So long as you deliver your judgments fairly and you are concentrating well, there is absolutely no problem. Mistakes happen in life. I wouldn't say I have not made mistakes. I must have made mistakes. Maybe some of them were pointed out to me, maybe some of them were not pointed out to me. Like you miss a no ball. It can happen. Nowadays, BCCI does record every match that takes place. This is a development that has come in the second decade of 21st century. So at the end of the day, you know where you stand. So that sort of development has happened. But otherwise, you take it as you're doing your best. You might have made a wrong call, and generally it is extremely. And when you make a wrong call, you never know that it is going to have a huge significance on that. And maybe I was lucky. None of the wrong calls possibly I have made had not made a huge difference on the course of the match also. But the point is that I always thought that I made the right decision. If I made a wrong decision, it is something of a mistake from my side. And generally players are accepted. So I didn't have anything on my conscience after that because I felt it was right. And it was not that I was not concentrated, not that I deliberately did something. Maybe if today someone says, if today you see at the end of it, but today the covering mechanism was also coming. So the players can actually ask for a review. That was not there. Okay. Now players can actually ask. So you can find that a lot of things are pointed out as mistakes, but then everyone accepts it and gets it. Except that is a part of the game. Players generally are quite accommodative on that because they feel mistakes happen. At least during the 1990s and I was actively umpiring in 2007-8. Absolutely, there are absolutely no problems on
It was a wonderful talk. No problem. Okay, so you can.
Please say a few words about sportsman's spirit and how it is related to management.
Thank you. I was told a 30-minute time, which is why I will talk about sportsman's spirit. It's a very important aspect that you talk about. Because that is what differentiates sports from other forms of entertainment. What is sportsman's spirit? At the end of the day, the winner and the loser shake hands. The loser says, you are better than me today. Doesn't mean you're always better than me. And the winner says, yes, I was better today. Doesn't mean you are lower than me. That is the spirit in which sports is played. You have even the worst of boxing. You know, it's a very physical sport. At the end of it, they shake hands and say the same thing. They respect each other. So the respect that sportsmen have for each other, like you saw that, take the one-day internationals. India won T20. India lost the first one, scraped through the second one, and the last one we won by a huge margin. It doesn't mean that the teams have that amount of difference between each other. So there's a huge amount of respect between sportsmen, which is one of the key elements. Second is that you live to fight another day, and I will come back stronger. This is a message that is there. You are losing today doesn't mean you are a loser. It only shows that you will learn from today's experience and become a winner the next day. So this is something which all of it accept not just as theory of management, but in our actual practice also. See, one thing which I want to say was that why were the ladies in the counter so efficient? They were so efficient because they were sportsmen. Why? They are used to. They are used to having setbacks. They will not have won all the matches they played. They are used to losing. Whereas a person who has passed all exams in his life and not played a sport will not know what it is to lose and come back. I am a great believer in the principle of sportsmanship. Maybe I can talk for hours on this, so I'll talk no further. Thank you for asking the question.
Good evening, sir. I'm Gary from Darjeeling Business School. So I certainly believe for the fact that you, a manager, should have the qualities of learning, unlearning, and relearning. But in order to have that, you need an uncluttered mind. So my question to you is, what do you do to have an uncluttered mind?
I try. So the important thing is, what is the objective? In every job that you have to see what is the objective. So whatever actions you take, should not shift you away from the objective that you have. A lot of other factors will come in, especially when you're working in an organization. There will be a lot of factors that come in. But then ultimately you should not lose sight of your main objective. Whatever comes in the way of the main object, achieving the main objective, you will move from it. Now, in your organization, you might have problem with your colleagues, subordinates, superiors. All this will happen. But what is the objective? If it comes in the way of hindering with your objective, you definitely compromise with them or make peace with them to see that you achieve the objective. So identifying the goal is the most important thing, and then always keep working towards it. You should remind yourself constantly what is your goal when you're working in an organization, and you should work towards it. That is how I see as an unfettered-minded daily life.
One last question.
Yes, sir, wanted to ask.
My turn.
I am Air Marshal Kuluvada, and a sportsman beyond your days. Represented the Kerala State senior team for 4 years in the 1960s. My first of all, wonderful lecture, and it has taught me a lot of things which you have brought out is very, very true. My question is, in addition to all those which you have told, in my life, what I have found is the sports makes very quick decision-making capability, which the sports gives. You cannot get it anywhere else. So you are, in my profession at least, you have to take very quick decisions, which I thought that I learned at the age of 15 and 16. So this also, I think you should include into your speech.
That objectivity that sports gives is something which is unique. Like you have to take a call. In cricket, do you want to run or not? If you make a mistake, you are out. In football, do you take the kick now or you pass it on? So that decision making comes automatically to sportsmen. And at least as far as umpiring is concerned, if someone appeals, you have to give a decision out or not out. You cannot go back and think again on it. So sports that way makes you much more objective, and it's right. Decision making becomes much faster on that. Thank you very much, and I enjoyed it.
There are a lot of people who want to ask questions and words. Small survey now. Now we would like to recognize a versatile personality, a student of Quizat, our life member, Mr. P.A. Salim, a veteran cricketer, a pioneer in various business ventures such as the resorts, integrated rupee and exposed seafood, plantation, ad agency, FMCG products, etc. Whatever he touches, turn into gold. A person with a touch, but his passion is always cricket. He was selected to play in the World Cup of Indian Veterans Cricket Team. Match held in Australia from 2nd to 14th September 2020. India came to the 5th position. He was the only Kerala to get into the team. We are proud of you. The fact that he is the vice president of Kerala Veteran Cricket Team. He is part of Kerala, our KCC, KMA Corporate Cricket League as well. Definitely an inspiration for all of us. Now I request Dr. Raghavan kindly allow a Fernanda to Mr. Salim and talk about for giving this opportunity and thank you for that. Now I request our past president, Mr. Premchand, to hand over to our chief guest. Our Senior Vice President, Mr. Balakrishnan, to hand over. Simon, would you like to speak for 2 minutes?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Jamie, for choosing this most appropriate occasion for recognizing me. Most appropriate because I was my teacher. When I joined SMS, he was the director. Your Pudwal sir here, he was also my boss. Because I used to know him to my father even before that. And great all-rounder Raghavan sir. He is a versatile person. He's there in everything. Besides the both eyes, there is one more called vantage point. If you write very. It's very interesting. His analysis of cricket is very, very interesting. And he's someone whom you won't have to follow. And then the topic today, convergence of sports and management, the experiments. That is the experiment which I have also been trying. And then we have Nirmala, the only lady who was taken my video. So this is the most appropriate occasion. Thank you. I will remember and cherish it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I invite our Honorable Secretary, Mr. Pylee, to propose vote of thanks.
Distinguished dignitaries on and off the dais, and my good friends sitting as students of management school. It's my turn to thank you all for making this memorial lecture memorable to everyone. First of all, I must thank the chief guest of the day, renowned author of both fiction and non-fiction bestseller books, accomplished cricket umpire in the sports arena, and much respected civil servant. Above all, good old family friend, Dr. K.M. He so beautifully explained the experiments in convergence sports and management. It reminded me of the good old proverb, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And for all the charming ladies and young girls here, he gave the mantra that volleyball is a game changer. And if you don't, and for the rest of all, innovate, improvise, and stay focused with an uncluttered mind. I'm sure all of us learned a lot of valuable management lessons that everyone should imbibe from sports. And if you still have any doubts, wait for his new book, Mantra. It's about management, the principles in Ramayana. Thank you, Dr. Raghavan. Dr. P.R. Kodwal so beautifully shared the life and work the father of management education in Kerala, Padma Bhushan, Dr. M.V. Pylee, whom we in KMA are very proud to say that he was a distinguished past president of Kerala Management Association. Every year we remember him with much respect at this memorial lecture for his highly valuable contribution to the management fraternity. This year, we are truly honored to have yet another great management guru to deliver Dr. M.V. Pylee Memorial Remembrance Speech. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time to rekindle the memories. Thank you, my friend C.S. Salim, for accepting the invitation to be here, rushing all the way from and in the midst of his holiday with family at Varkala Beach on the insistence of President Nirmala and myself. What a fantastic recognition for a passionate full-time cricketer and part-time management professional. To be honored in the presence of his professor and umpire of his passion. On a lighter note, President Nirmala had an ulterior interest to inform everyone that she clean bowled the Indian cricket player in the first over that she bowled at him. Indeed, a great achievement at par with the programs of KME this year. Thank you, Mr. Salim, for cutting short your holiday and being with us today, and also, more importantly, for giving President Nirmala that honor for showing off our unique achievement. I must profusely thank Dr. Lalita Matthew for agreeing to come and personally hand over the book, translated in English from Malayalam and originally authored by Dr. M.V. Pylee. I am indebted to her for many other things, and now one more is added to the list. Thank you very much. I am failing in my duty if I don't profusely thank the chair of the memorial lecture and our elected managing committee member, Mr. A.C.K. Nair, for not only welcoming everyone present here today, but also for arranging both these excellent speakers for this very important memorial lecture of KME. On behalf of the president and the entire MC, I thank you for the arrangements today. Our president, Nirmala, should be specially thanked for planning, delegating, and executing all the programs of KMA in real style. Thank you, madam, for your presidential address. We have also planned exciting programs in coming weeks. On 9th February, we have the Managing Director of Cochin International Airport, Mr. S. Subhas IAS, as a speaker. He will talk on what's next from India's fully profitable airport. On that day, the book authored by our past president, O.T.S. Nambiar, will also be released. From the 20th to 26th of February, we will have several programs in connection with the Management Week, starting with, on the 20th, with the quiz for corporate and students arranged by Vijay Nair, who's sitting here, for corporates and students, and a football tournament for the B school students. And finally, on the 23rd, we will have K.T. Chandy Memorial Lecture and a closing ceremony of the Management Week. On the 2nd March, we have planned the Women Managers Conclave with an apt theme, parity, power, and progress. We have excellent, renowned national speakers who have consented to be keynote speakers and some as panelists. It would be held at Gokulam Convention Center. And to culminate the year, and also for the grand finale, we will have the glittering awards function, awards night function on the 17th March, which will also be held at the Gokulam Convention Center. We look forward to active participation of all members to make rest of the year memorable for all of us. I must especially thank past President Premchand, Executive Committee members, starting with our Senior Vice President, A. Balakrishnan, Joint Secretary, Dilip Narayan, Managing Committee members, C.S. Kapta, both admirals, Air Vice Marshal, all the members of Kerala Management Association, student chapter members, all of you for coming here and making this event a great success. I would also like to place on record and thank the KMS Secretary team led by Lieutenant Jojo Jacob and his team on the operation. Thanks also to the management and staff of Avenue Center for all the arrangements today. Thank you, one and all. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, and meeting is adjourned. Have a safe journey back home.
I know.
China picture, the Indian China was that was. Also good to meet you. How are you, sir? I have retired long back. I have retired in 2013. In 4 years, I was in Pylee. That also finished. I'm just into this writing. This is my wife. Hello, ma'am. I'm from Murli.